Welcome to Echoes of Understanding with Steph and Pete. We are two neurodivergent people who have been through our own journeys of growth and self-discovery. As coaches, we have real conversations about life, personal growth, and seeing the world through different perspectives. We're all about nuance, empathy, and a lot of fun. Thanks for joining. Hello, welcome to Echoes of Understanding with Steph and Pete. I am Stephanie Ann Webb. Now, unfortunately, for this episode 5, we were unable to record a separate podcast episode. So once again, I've uploaded a live talk that we did on the Noom Vibe app. And on this app, I start the live talk and Peter comes up as my co-host. And people can send us messages, private messages. And so you'll hear some of those people commenting. Those are people who are live in the room listening to us discuss things. This episode, we're just chatting about life. Okay, take 2. Welcome to our weekly podcast, Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Echoes of Understanding with Steph and Pete. Tonight we're just chatting about life because we didn't really, we were thinking of different topics, and then Peter's like, let's just chat about life. So this is a podcast with me and Peter Carrington. And I had to restart it because I did not set the timer for an hour like I thought. I guess I did a chat earlier. I did a live earlier this week, didn't I? And I had put it at 5 minutes. But usually I have it at an hour for when Peter comes up. But this is our weekly Saturday night, 8 p.m. podcast where I co-host with Peter Carrington. So thank you guys for being here. So we were just thinking, I had all these ideas for an episode, but Peter and I just chat about life in general. So we thought, let's just chat about life in general. Oh, thank you for coming back. I guess earlier this week where I put it at 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm usually so good. Cool.
Yeah, I'm like, I bought a 60-minute token, so it surprised me that I only have 5 minutes.
Give you your money's worth. You know what? I'm so detailed, right? I'm so like anally detailed, right?
Yeah.
But apparently not all the time, so.
Yeah. Well, it happens. It happens too.
It happens. Can't beat myself up. That's what I tend to do too, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think we all do. You do tend to beat yourself up every once in a while, I guess. And then I'm like, don't talk about my Stephanie like that. And then
I know.
The other part of you becomes offended. And I'm like, well, get over it, dude. Like, why are you calling me dude? I'm like, oh, that's just a matter of speaking. That's how we do it in the States. I know you're in Canada.
I call people dude.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, I was told one time, when I was in my 30s, I worked at a call center and I worked with the younger people anyways. And I realized that I was older and they didn't know what Seinfeld was. And I was like, what? Anyways, one of them said, we don't say dude anymore. That's for old people. And I said, what? I still say dude. So I don't know, but it was really funny.
Yeah.
That's when I realized I was getting old.
Yeah. Were you older than they were at the call center?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like 10 years older. And I would reference things like Friends, or I would talk about in Canada when I was a kid, we had a show called The Polka Dot Door, and the Pokeroo was on it, and he'd go, Pokeroo! And the man always missed the Pokeroo because it was the man dressed up as Pokeroo, but he'd go, I miss the Pokeroo again. And I would reference that all the time because when somebody would miss somebody, I'm like, it's like the Pokeroo. And nobody understood. I'm like, oh, you didn't grow up in the 80s.
Yeah. It's really cool seeing how the different generations like interact. And Look at you,
Oh, Laura,
you got two
Robin.
heads.
Sorry, Robin
Don't
messaged.
be
She
sorry.
goes, "Not true. My nieces and nephews dude me all the time.
Cool.
They are
Okay.
Gen Z. Zed.
There,
Zed. I'm Canadian. That's Zed. Sorry.
Zulu. Zed
Uh,
Zulu, Gen Z.
Also, Robin said, "Yes, you do. I love Peter's protective mode. Like I beat myself up. Aw.
Yeah.
Yes, Peter's very protective.
Very protective. Yeah. No,
And
at any rate, yeah, it's just
there's
like it
little
is.
me on the
That's what I
picture.
do. Little you, yeah, that's right. Maybe I'm like an uncle to you. How's that? Like a great uncle.
Wow, great uncle.
Uncle
You're not
Pete.
that much older than me.
Uncle Pete. Yeah, there you have it. There you have it. So there's about a cozy dozen of us right now, and we just would like to welcome you to Noom Vibe and welcome you to Echoes of Understanding with Steph and Pete. That's her, and this is me. We're just chatting about life tonight, and that's about the extent of it. So,
What's going on with life today, Peter?
what's not going on with life today? Let's see. It's Saturday, and it's typically a kind of a down day for me. It wasn't so today. A couple work-related things earlier in the day, and I'm on this side of a flu / cold / I really don't know at this point, and I'm trying to just recover and not taking my own advice for the last 2 weeks. I push, took care of them and didn't take care of me, and something's got to give, right? And I always talk that. I always preach it. In fact, I preach it to the families that I work with. And I didn't do it myself. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't getting the rest that I needed. I was forgetting to eat. And just burning the candle at both ends. And when you know it, something snuck in and wasn't feeling so great. So I getting my voice back, still a little bit hoarse, a little bit froggy. But yeah, that's what's going on with me. I was kind of contemplating, did I have the energy? Did I have the desire to come on? And I always have, there's always the desire and the appeal because it's Noom Vibe, right? And it's Stephanie Ann Webb. But the energy level just wasn't there. But after a little bit of turmeric tea and some deep breathing exercises, here I am. So what's going on in your side of the world? My neighbor to the north.
Oh, I didn't do anything I was planning to today. I don't remember what I did, except I had a chat with a woman, one of my Facebook friends.
Yeah.
And what else did I do, Peter? I don't know. I feel like I was working on stuff. I was on my computer working on something.
Okay.
I had a little chat with Chat GPT. I like to
Nice.
talk to it sometimes and ask it questions. But I went for a walk because it was raining like crazy this morning, which I love. I love thunderstorms.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I want to go out for. I love walking. We have the treadmill. Grateful for the treadmill, but I'd rather be outside in the fresh air.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I get more steps in because you're walking somewhere outside rather than on this treadmill that's kind of boring. So that was nice. It stopped in the afternoon and I was able to go. And it was really good. And I put on, I like to put on Neville Goddard. Have you ever heard him?
I certainly have. Yeah.
Oh, like there's these YouTube channels where they have him talking for like 2 hours, and I put it on and I'm like, yes, I just needed that inspiration, the positivity, the motivation, talk,
Cool.
just the encouragement. I'm like, oh, because some days, Peter, like I can do it for myself, but some days I just need that outside voice,
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I absolutely do too. And what I've done is I've started to record my own voice with certain affirmations that are very appealing to me. And like when folks are reading the audiobooks, if the voice doesn't resonate with me, then I'm doesn't resonate. It's not as impactful. The statement and the affirmation may be just fine, but if it's not singing to me, singing to my spirit, I feel the impact or the energy of it, even if it's kind of quietly playing in the background. So I've taken some of my favorite affirmations, some of my favorite self-talk, and I've started to record that. And who knows? Maybe I'll feel brave enough to put a little bit of binaural beats or some background music and start a thing, at least for myself, and see how that feels. Because I've ran across some really really good material. Neville Goddard's one of them, and there's some others out there that I really liked, but listening to them, either some voices just don't resonate at all, and it's like, oh, I gotta go, dude or chick, bye. Yeah, so
I love
that's
Wayne Dyer too.
I know who he is. I'm not sure that I've heard much of his audio stuff though.
There's Truly Julie. She would record her own affirmations, hypnosis even, with her voice, because she said it's that much more impactful. So I love that you said that. I have done that. Actually, I found an old recording of mine from last year on my phone. And I was saying, Steph, when you're feeling like this, remember this. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I recorded that to myself. Because
Yeah.
it was really cool hearing it from myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So cool. So
By the way,
cool.
you don't sound like you're hoarse. So that's good.
I feel a lot better. I'm trying not to talk to whatever it is that makes me go hoarse a little bit. Some of the higher tones maybe, or if I get too low, there it was right there. But 100% better than even 24 hours ago too. That and a pretty good mic aids in the aids in the sound of my voice tonight. So, but thank you.
Well, I think I'm the higher pitch and you're the lower one,
Well,
which
yeah,
makes you
pretty
sound,
obvious about that, right?
I'm louder than too.
Are you?
To certain
Okay.
people, they
Yeah.
don't. My mom was like, "Oh, he's softer," and I'm like, "Oh, he's
Yeah.
lower. That's why."
Yeah. Well, I'm a pretty soft-spoken dude, generally speaking. Like not really loud. My father, rest his soul, had the most symphonic, deep voice that I've ever heard live in person. Period. He sounded like he was always on a friggin' microphone, always. but
Mm.
and he resonated, like you felt him talking in a room, and so he had volume and depth, and range. When I say range, I mean out from his body. And yeah, I don't have that, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But what I don't project in vocals, I am certain at my age I can say this, I make up for in resonant energy, because I'm a radiant being, and so are you, and so is everyone else on this call. There's about a cozy dozen of us, by the way, and we just like to welcome you. It's a great time to do that, to Echoes of Understanding. That's Steph, I'm Pete, and we're just chatting about life and throwing things up and seeing what sticks. As I'm looking at my whiteboard that's filled with things that I need to unstick from there, because I got to get busy with some things. But yeah, welcome
It's
to
very
Noom
smart of
Vibe.
you to have
Welcome. Yeah.
a whiteboard. This is why I get overwhelmed easily, because it's all in my head, and I go from one thing to I know I was recording. So I wrote a children's book. What should dragon do, right? And then 2, 3, whatever many years ago, I recorded the audio as well. So I uploaded it to Audible.
Mm-hmm.
But lately I heard parts of it and I was like, I'm talking too fast. I was reading it too fast. So I decided to re-record it. I'm talking much slower, but I was like, I don't want to put all this back and you have to separate it and put it. And then I thought, does it matter? I spent all this time doing all this and I decided not to do it.
Okay.
But and then I was like, wait, I got to do this. I got to do that. And then I have all 5 things I want to do. But I'm like, you got to finish the one thing that you're focusing on.
Yeah. That's neurodivergence if I've ever heard it.
Ugh.
Yeah, definitely for
And
me.
I should write it down. But it's like, I don't want to just finish the thing I'm doing because I'm excited to start the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you know what that means. That
I
feels
do.
like.
I do. I know exactly what it means. And well, my home office has black walls, flat black, and white trim, white ceiling, whatever, white doors. But it has this white board, right? So this is my double monitors in front of me, and then just over that, in the horizon, is this pretty sizable whiteboard, right? So it really stands out, can't miss it. And framing it is these multicolored post-it notes that have things written on, and I understand exactly what's up there. Maybe someone who would walk into this office would think something different, maybe. But yeah, that's how I have to do it. I have to, if I don't see it in front of me, it's really not happening in this man's mind. And so they talk about with neurodivergence, they talk about time blindness and why you're always late and you're living life by crisis all the time, everything the last minute. Because with time blindness, it's more like time nearsightedness. And if it's not right in front of your face, it's not happening. And a lot of it is there's a rush. It's part of stimulation, right? That I'm leaving 10 minutes after I should have. I'm going to get there on time. And if that happens, and it may happen 3 out of 10 times, you're so spent that it's doing such a disservice, not only to yourself, but those around you. So it's something I really have to monitor, something I really have to watch, and realize that even if I get up at 7:00, right, and I have a 9:00 meeting right here in the house, right, on Zoom, right, that it's not as much time as I think it is, right? And it's really weird because it'll be 8:30 and I'll think to myself, I got up at 7. In my mind, my psychological time will still say I have plenty of time because I got up at 7. Now that may sound so weird to to folks who don't think like that and perceive life and time like that, but baby, let me tell you, it's as real as it gets. And so I have all of these guide rails, like the whiteboard and the technology I'm looking at. Dual monitors, I'm looking at a iPad Pro, which I'm talking on. I'm looking at one iPhone and 2 iPhones. And that sounds like a lot, but it's not. Then I have Alexa, Siri, and now Gemini, all in females' voices because I listen better to them, all speaking to me. And I'm sure if someone were to spend a day right with me, they'd be like, dude, this is driving me nuts. I got to go. And without that, this man is lost.
So you need women to tell you what to do.
That's exactly the moral of the story. Damn it. I'm sticking to it.
That's what I got out of that story.
Yeah. See, that's what you would get, actually. You're a woman, right? Yeah.
Oh,
but no,
that's so funny.
my mind resonates better with that, with the female voice.
Well, and this is why you and I are so funny together, because I like to be on time. I'm like,
Yeah.
Peter, we have to go live at this time. And you're like, oh, whatever time.
Yeah, I know it would be nice, but yeah, I'm not like that. So it's good that you are like that, because I don't want to say it balances us out. It makes us on time, because I'm not balanced out by that. I'm just like, okay, I guess I have to do it, right? That doesn't, because I'll do it the next time, right? And the time after that.
But it also mellows me out a little bit more, because I get a little bit anal about it. But
I think your way is the better way to go, as long as you don't get stressed out about being on time, and if you're on time and you're prepared most of the time, that's fantastic. But if you're on time but you're really stressed every time, then maybe take a second look at it.
And I actually like being early. I would drive if I had to be at somebody's, a party or an appointment or something. I'm that person who's there really early, but then I drive around because I'm too early. I'm like, what do I do? And then because I don't want to be late.
Yeah.
But you would understand my sister and my dad, though, because they have time blindness. Right. And but the only time my sister and my brother-in-law, they're both like this, they were on time for their own wedding, which I thought was hilarious, because I thought these two are going to be late, and they weren't. So there you go. I don't know.
Yeah. It's really weird. I'll give you an example of how it works for me. Like, I'll go to, this really happened, stand by. In early recovery, I went to a meeting, right? And it was on a Wednesday night, and it was whatever, let's say 8:00, right? And they said, well, normally there's a men's meeting. We start at 10:00 usually, but we're starting at 8:00 this week, or for the next 2 weeks, and then we're going to 10 p.m., right? I would forget all about that. And then I'd go there for 8 o'clock, right? And I'd make it just at 8 o'clock, but no one's there, right? So, oh yeah, dummy, it's 10 o'clock. So what I do then is I drive off, go get a coffee, hang out or whatever, and just chill. And next thing you know, it's 5 minutes to 10. And I'm rushing to get there. Like that's how I do it. That's how my brain does it. So yeah, really frustrating at times, but I'm getting something out of that. Like there's a stimulation that comes out of that. Of rushing to get, because it feels like you're accomplishing something and you're really not, but your mind starts to believe it. And I'm not that stressed out as I may sound about it. Like it's not great, but I can't feel the stress of, oh ish, I'm not there on time. I don't feel, and I probably should, right? Because it's just normal. If someone's putting something together or someone's expecting you to show up, or if a group is showing up at a certain time, because that's what we agreed on, then I should be prepared to go and be there. So as much as I've said that and talked through it just now, to be honest with you, that's probably part of the equation.
They don't want you there
excuse
for surprise party then, because if you have to be early at surprise party so you don't ruin the surprise for the person coming.
Yeah.
Well, when I was at university, and this got worse because I went to 3 post-secondaries, my goodness. I went back to my last one in my 30s, and this was even worse. I would write my essays and study the night before. So I would stay up, panic writing an essay.
Yeah.
And like, I was super angry and stressed. And I'm like, why do I do this to myself? But it gets you going.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have anything before to keep me moving forward. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it later. And then the night before, you're like, uh-oh, this thing's due tomorrow.
Yeah. That's foreign to me, but I definitely understand. I get it. I absolutely get it.
Oh, I thought that would be something you would do. Isn't that like an ADHD thing?
It may be. I think just right now, I think I just went into ADHD mode. I was hearing what you were saying, but I really wasn't listening.
Oh.
I tuned in at the last 3 sentences. So
I said I would write the paper the night before it was due.
Yeah.
Stay up all night. Oh, one time I stayed up.
Okay, I can relate to that. Yes.
All night. Then I had to go to class, and I'm sitting there feeling miserable because I was like, I'm like 32 at this point. I'm like, I'm not, 15 anymore.
That is very neurodivergent. I'm not saying that you are, but that is very neurodivergent.
Oh.
But so we're chatting about life. And what I love about life is the second and third chances that we get. And even sometimes more, like you were speaking, right? You were kind enough to listen to me rant, right? And hear what I said and respond. And you were on board with me. Then just after that, I finished and I stopped. I listened, but then I tuned out because ADHD is happening. And how that looked was this. Stephanie started to talk. And at that very moment, those 2 dual monitors start doing the screensaver, right? Which is a forest on both monitors. Right? This is what's happening. I'm looking at it right now, literally. And it started to move. And I'm just thinking, like, I'm just how grateful like life is and how much I feel better, because I didn't feel like even coming on, but I'm starting to feel better. And I certainly feel better talking. And just like that, I'm gone. And then I come back into the room and you're like, what do you think? I'm like, yeah, that would not be me, or whatever the hell I said, right? That didn't match up. But it's about getting honest and saying, like, I messed up. I didn't hear what you said. And you were kind enough and generous enough and gracious enough to repeat it. So for that, I thank you, Miss Stephanie Ann Webb. And if you are just joining us, this is Echoes of Understanding with Stephanie, and I'm Pete, and you're on Noom Vibe. And if you're new to Noom Vibe, man, you have landed in the right place. You have touched down in a community that is, the base vibration here is love. So you're in the right place. And whether you realize that or not on a Saturday night, there's no mistakes. Like, you downloaded this app and you push this button for a reason. And if you're like us, like, you're working on a few things in your life, right? And that's what we're doing here in Noom Vibe. We are laser focused on living better, longer lives, but we do that together. So I appreciate you stopping by tonight to hang out with us.
I just tuned you out.
Beautiful. I love it.
Oh my God.
The uncomfortable pause, right? Spattering of applause. Yeah. So
yeah, we didn't really have a topic, so we were like, let's talk about whatever.
life, like life. I think life is a great topic, right? I think it
Yeah,
is. I think
life,
it's a
life.
great
I,
topic.
w- I
Life,
almost
life.
titled it "Like When Life Lifes" because I like that phrase, like just
Yeah.
lifing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had a variety of emotions today,
hmm
and it's just there's things that happen, and then you
Yeah.
realize, okay, well, the news. Oh my God, why am I looking at the news?
Yeah.
And then I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
But I want to be informed, but also no, I want to stay in my little bubble. But also learning how to handle that, because life is going to constantly have ups and downs, and there's always going to be something on the news that's upsetting and something in life. And so it's okay, I can have a moment, and I do. I cry or I just get mad, and that's okay. And then I do something like nature, right? Like I went out
Yeah.
for a walk and it was wonderful, and
Yeah.
whatever it is that people need to do. Sometimes that's nature, sometimes it's exercise, sometimes it's just sitting in the silence, or just different things, right? Putting on a comedy.
Yeah.
And then you're able to be like, okay, I am strong. I do not need to let these things get me down. I am
Right.
resilient.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
And
all
it's
of that is human. All of that is just life.
absolutely. Yeah. It's humanity. It's what happens, right? It's so life keeps lifing, and or I say like life will show up always. So it really, like, you made an excellent point, because like, what do we do when life shows up, or when life starts lifing, as we call it, or we go into a problem or there's a stressful situation? And what you can just about guarantee that you're going to have another one, and it may be dressed differently, but it's going to be a stressful situation. Whatever it is, problems come up, they arise. But the way in which we approach those and how we react and respond is really important to have a successful life, right? And to be healthy. Because if you have just a certain set of things that you do every time the ish hits the fan, like you'll be able to navigate that stuff better. You may not solve the problem. Maybe someone else's thing that they're doing, and you're dragged into it because you love them and you care about them, or you're affected by it because you're on a team at work and that person's not pulling their weight, or whatever the case may be, right? If you have a certain set of kind of rules or tools in your tool belt that you can kind of employ for any situation, that's certainly helpful. And I really love how you talked about you did something, you got into action. And what you're doing is you're training your brain that when this happens, we always do that, or we do something and we respond to it instead of react. Because,
And
yeah.
this is why, like, when I wrote my children's book, well, I basically wrote it out of stories that happened with my roommates. But it's about teaching children how to handle our emotions, how to be kind even when we're upset. And my friend
Nice.
Katana wrote a book called Why Are You Happy? And it's about a little whale who goes through all these situations, and he's learning how to stay calm and how to be resilient.
Yeah.
And, they do make fun of the younger generation, although I'm Gen X.
Yeah.
I did not grow up with resiliency. I'm having to learn it as an adult. So it's not just Gen Z or whatever, Gen Alpha, that don't have this. I don't know why because there were many of us who didn't have this. It depends on your parents.
Yeah.
But there's this lack of teaching or understanding how to handle the tough stuff because our parents coddled us or whatever, right? So it's important to know how to handle these things, how to respond instead of react, and how to be able to calm our nervous system, and how to not lash out, and all these different things that would create a healthier us and a healthier community.
Yeah. Instead of just saying like, get over it, dude.
Yeah. And not
Get
stuffing
through
it down, not saying like,
Toughen up.
Like that's unhealthy as well.
Yeah.
So Peter, we got a question from Laura Strader. She said, I heard this question from Kristen Brown, the lovely, lovely Kristen Brown. And I would love to hear your answer and Peter's. The secret to a great life for me is, or the secret to a great life in general, whatever you guys want to focus on. So the secret to a great life is, oh, wow. That's a great question, Laura.
You said that in stereo. That's a great question. We did that. It was duet style. Yeah,
Jinx.
Thanks for that question. Yeah, knock wood. I don't have any natural wood around me, do I? No. Okay, so the secret of a great life.
I don't know if we know how to answer that. I think that's a...
Oh, I got it. Well, secret part of it, at least, is this, for me at least, is like I always say, like life is a series of breaths, right? That's what it is, essentially, in this time-space reality. So the secret of life would, for me, ideally would be to exercise gratitude between those breaths. So the secret of life is what we do between the breaths, between what we plan on doing or plan on life being and what shows up. Like that space in between it. It's what happens when we don't get what we want, right? It's what happens when we get exactly what we want, but it just doesn't do it for us because we thought that was the answer. The secret of life is to, if that, then what? If that, then what? Yeah,
is that your answer?
Yeah, very rarely do I do this for myself, but here it goes.
I give you a gold star.
Nice.
Did you see my post on Facebook and said something about as adults, we don't give enough gold stars to ourselves? Like, yay, I put on pants today, or
Nice.
Well, how do I top that?
I don't know, because I just came up with it, but it felt right. And it's true. It's true.
I think for me, I'm still trying to figure this out, Laura. One of the things for me is just understanding that, like, because when I was growing up, I thought you had to just go a straight way and you had to figure out what God wanted you to do and then don't go out the wrong path. It's so stressful, but just enjoying it, just like this is a journey and I'm taking steps at a time and I'm learning and taking everything I've done and every person I've met and all these experiences and taken something from it, because there's something in everything.
Yeah.
And I know people Peter, I only graduated from 1 post-secondary, but I've gone to 3.
Okay.
And I'm very expensive because apparently I go to the school. I went to the Christian school. I actually go to the private because there's the smaller, right?
Yeah.
And also 2 Christian ones. And they're way more expensive than a public one.
Yeah.
So my parents had a lot to deal with me. But what was my point? Oh, yeah. So I only graduated from 1. And I know people are like, well, you wasted money going there. And why did you do this? You didn't even finish. Well, you know what, though? I gained
life lessons out of it, though,
experience.
right? Did you not? Yeah.
Yes. And I met people along the way who changed my perception of different things because I then met different people from different walks of life. And I learned things in school that I wouldn't have learned if I didn't go. So yes, I didn't graduate from those, but so what? I am, and you can look at it that way, but then you look at life like, oh, you failed this, you failed that. Oh, why'd you waste money doing that? No, I don't want to look at it that way. I want to look at it like, yeah, I had that experience and it doesn't matter.
If you don't love it, kick rocks, dude. Things happen exactly the way they're supposed to happen sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We got a message from Dr. Robert James Goodman. He says, my answer is knowing your identity creates the balance. Within you is my answer. Why are you repeating?
He wrote it to me too.
Oh, I was like, how are you knowing this? Okay. Knowing your identity creates the balance within you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 Knowing your identity is so good.
It is.
And then
thank you for that, Dr. Robert.
Laura said, for me, the secret to a great life is hope, purpose, freedom, health, connection, simplicity, or minimalism. Yeah, all of those.
Minimalism. Yeah, that's the way to go. Thank you for those answers, guys. They were absolutely amazing.
And way shorter than mine.
Yeah, but no, they're all great answers. Everybody gets a star, and it's more than a participation star. It's a knocked it out the box star. I love all those answers. And if you're listening tonight and you want to you can't hop on right now because it's occupied. But I'll say this: if you want to tap one of our faces, preferably the one to the left that's brilliantly smiling with the blonde hair, and just hit say hi, you can write your answer to that question right in the chat. What was the question again?
What's the secret to a great life?
Beautiful. Yeah.
For me is. Well, now I want to change my answer. Well, I don't know. There's so many different things.
You can change it.
I can change it.
Yeah.
Purpose.
Yeah.
Finding your purpose and passion is wonderful. Like that gives you something to life that just, what are the words I'm trying to find? Purpose brings you purpose.
Yeah, I guess
you know what I'm saying. It lights up your life.
Yeah.
Gives you something to work towards.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I didn't have purpose, I was just like, ugh, why am I here? This sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Life be lifing. For sure. Oh, did I lose you? I think I lost my audio there for a second.
Oh,
my audio.
When I'm sitting on the floor, so when I move my leg out, because I'm like, oh, my leg needs to move out, I mute because it's quite loud. Actually, you can hear when I move. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, we got an answer from Robin.
Okay.
She said, being able to love and be loved.
I love that.
Oh, that's great.
I love that. I love you, Robin. We love you.
Yay.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Laura said, also, if you guys want, it would be cool to hear one of y'all's favorite jokes if you have any that crack you up. Oh, I never remember jokes. I find myself pretty funny. What about you, Peter?
No jokes on hand, unfortunately. People are probably not surprised to hear that, right?
I just never remember any.
Yeah.
You know? Or I'd have to Google it and then find one to read.
Right. You can do that.
I'm not one of those people that's good at the jokes, but
yeah.
In the moment, I just say things.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have a tremendous sense of humor, right? I think I have a fairly good sense of humor. In fact, I really do. But I just don't, I don't joke around a lot. Am I so serious? Like, really, dude, relax. I am relaxed. That's just how I flow. That's me talking to me.
Flow.
Yeah. Well, there's a cool 24 of us, a cozy 24 of us. And I just want to reset and say thank you for joining us tonight on Noom Vibe. This is Echoes of Understanding with Steph and me, Pete. Yeah, we're just chatting about life. That's all.
We go live every Saturday at 8 Eastern.
At 8 p.m. Eastern. I was going to get there.
Oh, sorry.
Show off. No, don't mute, please. At any rate, we go live every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we just talk about life, right? And this Saturday, tonight, we're actually literally just chatting about life. And if you're new to the community, we welcome you. Noom Vibe is an absolutely 100% FREE free wellness app. Free. No, like sign up for 30 days for free and then get a subscription. Free. free wellness app. And we're focused on living better, longer lives together. We do that together as a community. And if you are new here, really welcome. And you've landed in the right place, because the base vibration here is, go on, Steph, is
Love,
you've got it.
wellness. Oh,
Love.
well, wellness, love,
That's it. You got
whatever.
it. It's whatever you want it to be. But yeah, that's how I say it's. Base
There's
vibration is
wonderful
love.
speakers all the time on health and wellness and mental health and hope and freedom and spirituality and all sorts of different fun
Chances
stuff.
are,
And
that's right. If you're here, we got you. And not necessarily us, but because we may not resonate with you. But the beauty of it is there's somebody here on this app that will. And that's really the neat part about this. It's just like you're here for a reason. And that's more than just a statement. Stick around. You'll see how true that really is.
And there's a great community of people.
There really is. Yeah. And we have over 1,000 workouts and meditations right here on Noom Vibe. So if you just kind of mess around with the app and dip down and see what's going on, you can see those habits, and you can get paid for them, paid in our cryptocurrency, not our cryptocurrency, our digital currency called the Vibe. It's a digital currency. It's called
not crypto.
It's not crypto. It's a Vibe, baby. And what you can do is you can, take enough steps, do enough things, and you get paid for it in a Vibe. So what you can do with that is you can buy yourself a coffee. I think it's Starbucks, Amazon, and Target's on there. That's one of the choices.
In Canada, we have Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
I get my $5 Tim Hortons app or Tim Hortons card. Yay.
Yeah. Or if you're feeling philanthropic, you can donate that to one of the many very worthy vetted causes that we support in the Noom Vibe community. So we appreciate you stopping by tonight and hanging out with us and spending some of your Saturday evening with us. But we encourage you to stick and stay.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Absolutely. One
of my favorite meditations is sleep yoga nidra. Did I say that right?
Nice. You sure did.
And you were as a guest. What am I trying to say?
Take two and action.
You were a guest on Dr. Merriam-Webster. Did I say it right?
Webster, yeah.
Yeah. She did a live talk last night on sleep.
Yeah.
And you were going through tapping and different things to help you sleep better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was absolutely awesome. And Coach Miriam, she has a sleep lab or a lullaby lab. And she came on my show as a guest more than a few Thursdays ago. That's called The Vibe, VIBE. And she came on, we did a sleep lab. And at the very end, she took us through this meditation, this yoga nidra. Am I saying that right?
Yoga nidra. Yes, I think so.
And it was just fantastic and a lot of great information. So you can just keep your eye out for her and plug into that. I think on Mondays, if I'm not mistaken, Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, she'll be joining Coach Adrian for the next 6 months, talking about sleep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Peter knows what's up. Yeah. Gee, I wonder how you got the name for your show, The Vibe.
Because I'm just so creative, right? After going to quiet contemplation and meditation, it came to me, right? And I'm like, isn't that neat? That neat? Named the whole app after my show. Yeah, no, not really. So so I'm not that creative. I think in certain ways I am, but the vibe just felt right, and the vibe is about that, baby. It's late night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's just about winding the day down and just vibing, really, and just we keep it real and we keep it simple on the vibe, and it's just a lot of open talk. I do share my experience, strength, and hope in the area of recovery, and do a little bit of life coaching and just talk about life according to my little experience that I've had. And I talk about some things that really have worked in my life inside and outside of recovery. things that I've just found work for some other people that are we're going through similar situations, and I just found that like our experiences tallied perfectly. So I talk about those things because they've been tested in the laboratory of this man's life and that person's life, and that's the conclusion. Yeah, that's what it is.
And it's a perfect way to fall asleep. So, like I do fall asleep listening to you.
Do you? I don't. Is that
And
a bad? I
it's
don't know
not
if that's a
because
good
you're
thing or a
boring.
bad thing.
It's
Okay.
because
All right.
it's because your voice
Where's the
is
sleep
so
machine when you need it?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Thank you.
And because you go on late, and I'm like, dude, it's
Yeah.
11:30 p.m. I'm tired, but I
Right.
have to stay up for Peter.
Yeah. When I first started giving talks, like people would comment, I fell asleep listening to you talk last night. I'm like, okay, thanks for listening. Right. I'm like, maybe I need to, right. Maybe I need to jazz it up. Maybe I need to be somebody different.
No, never.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you what my thought was. The first time I ever
Oh,
done anything like that. So that was my thought. Right. And no, not the case. Be true to yourself, and that way you can't be false to anybody else. So I just stuck with that, and I stick with the vibe, and it seems to work, right? It seems to work. I am soft spoken. I realize that, and if it's working, it works, right? So why strain? Why strain and try to be something different and be something that I'm not?
well, that's like so I have 3 podcasts, but I started
That's
my
all.
first one, Steph Up Podcast.
You only have 3 podcasts.
I know a lady who was 25.
Really?
I was like, what? How do you keep up with
Wow.
all those? Anyways,
Fascinating.
so my friend Maria, she goes, I just put on your podcast and I like to fall asleep. I said, you're not supposed to fall asleep to that one. Because I'm talking. But she likes my voice. So then I started Soothing Words with Steph, where I do just read things.
It's
And I'm like, you can
incredible.
fall
Yeah, I
asleep
love
to that one. I'll let you do that.
Yeah. Yeah, soothing words with Steph is awesome. I could never remember the name for some reason, but yeah,
Is it too many words?
I think it is. But I love hearing it. I love the vibe. I love how you get so soothing, and that definitely has helped me wind down a couple of nights for sure.
Nice.
Sure. And your other one?
Oh,
Is that
which
2
one
or
is that?
3?
Echoes of
2?
Understanding with Steph and Pete.
Oh,
You can find us on YouTube as well. We
really?
record separately. You can see our faces in real time.
What?
Yeah,
You
I don't look like a
serious?
baby. I don't look like, how old am I here? 4?
I don't know.
I don't know. But you can see
I was about
me right
13 in
now.
my picture.
Yeah.
12 or 13. Yeah.
That's a grown-up 13-year-old.
Right? Isn't that great? I love it.
We're silly.
Yeah.
I think. Did we lose everybody?
I don't know if we did. We didn't lose
I
us,
don't
right? We're
know.
still here. Oh, the lights on? Yeah, the lights are on. Okay, that's great. Yeah.
Sometimes when you
Yes.
don't see claps, you're like, did people leave the room?
Yeah. Maybe it's just busy listening or not. Well, that's a
Maybe.
neat thing about this app. I don't know
Oh,
if
there's
anybody
the
else
claps.
is.
Hey.
Hey, guys, thanks for the love. Thanks for the love. Absolutely. Sometimes, thanks for the love, guys. Appreciate you. Sometimes, there's other speakers on. So if you find someone that you resonate with, you can always just tap follow. You'll be alerted when they come on. But sometimes there's multiple speakers, multiple talks at one time on the app. And I think that's just fantastic because it gives us variety. And usually you'll land somewhere that you were meant to land, right? And again, if you have a favorite or if you find a favorite, you can just follow that person and you can just join them every time, right?
And you can jump from one to the other and like
one to
listen.
the other. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. But if you are new, I encourage you to do just that. Like when I got on the app 6 months ago or so, my first exposure to the circle on the right was I was just playing around with the app, right? And I hit, what is this? So I hit it, right? And then the countdown started. Next thing you know, I had gone live. Right on Noom Vibe. And I just rocked out with it. And it was Coach Casey at the time, Casey Hughes, and she was very gracious and allowed me to talk about some things that were going on in my life. And I'm like, well, I'm in now. So I'm in and I'm staying in. And right then I knew I found my tribe, right, or part of it at least, right here with the Noom Vibe folks. And I haven't looked back since. So if you are new or if you've been around for a little while and you're getting something out of this, right? Maybe some things are changing for you or you're starting to look at life a little bit differently. I encourage you to pay it forward. By that, I mean this. Hit that circle on the right-hand side and come up and talk and share some of your experience, strength, and hope, right? Because it's not about me. It's about we, right? It's about us. And if we step up and step in for each other, it just makes life that much sweeter, or gets us out of the space that we're in, right? And maybe get you out of your comfort zone. And I suspect that if you've been around for a while and you haven't come up, your index finger or thumb gets really itchy at times, because whatever that host is saying, right, is really resonating with you, and you really just want to push that button. Here's the great news. We can't see you, right? We can't see your face. You see whatever picture you put up. No one's looking at you. So that's should be a level of security and comfort. But not only that, like I 100 out of 100 times, at least in my experience, everyone who's done that by mistake, they said it wasn't that bad. You know, thinking about it and ruminating over it was probably a lot worse. But
It's
you've been through some
fun.
stuff, and if you have, share it. You know, especially if someone's saying something that really resonates with you.
Well, and I said, I don't know, was I on some Christians? I don't know. But I said, I think it was one of my own talks where
Yeah.
I said, now some of us get so trigger happy. Like we hit the button before we even know what we're going to say. I get up, I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, here's something.
Yeah.
Just comes to my head. But at first, I wouldn't know what to say. I'd have to really write it down and go, oh, am I going to say this? And now things just flow anyways,
Yeah.
because I have lots to say, you know, Peter.
Yeah. You do.
I do. I don't think I ever run out of things to say.
No, you talk a lot. It's very impressed about how much you can talk about a single subject, right? No, but I think that's pretty cool, right? I think that's great. Like this is work for me, and I mean, it's a labor. If it's a labor, it's a labor of love, because that's just how it goes for me. Like I have this whole sitcom going on in my head all the time, anyway, right? So I stay entertained, right? And I promise you, it's
Nice.
not boring, but I do find it a little more difficult to just kind of flow. And I think it's one of the talks that we had, the difference between some men and women, generally speaking, it's a generalization, is just that. Men like kind of communicate to convey information, and women do it for connection. Not 100% of the time, but I just kind of find that's a rule of thumb. But just being on this app and having the great pleasure for me and responsibility, and I'll call it the B word, blessing, right? However you want to phrase it, just by virtue of being able to go live and be a Noom Vibe host, I have to talk more, right? I think it's been a very good thing for me, and maybe I've helped some folks along the way. Maybe, if nothing else, I've helped them fall asleep at night like Stephanie and Webb, right?
I saw my
nothing
friend.
else.
I saw my friend Jen the other day, and she's like, "Oh, I haven't listened to your second episode of the podcast with Echoes of Understanding." And I said, "Well, we just released a new one."
Yeah.
And I said, "I'll send you that link." But
Cool.
anyway, she goes, "How long did they go?" The first
Too
one, it was
long.
33 minutes. I said, "Our second one was like an hour." She goes, "What?
Yeah.
How do you talk for that long?" I said,
Yeah.
"Dude,
Her
you
name is
know me."
Stephanie. That's how. Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
at first, when I first went live, I was asking people to come up as guests because I was like, how do I talk on here for so long?
Right.
And sometimes I do. Like I did a talk last week. It was 12 minutes because I was like, okay, I'm done now. Bye.
Yeah.
But Laura sent us a message.
Hey, Laura.
How do you find your inspiration for your next creative content to put out into the world? Oh, I just tell Peter what we're doing usually.
Stephanie, Alexa, Siri, they're all telling me what to do. And I listen usually. Yeah, like Stephanie's very creative that way. Very creative.
Things just pop into my head. Now, we had 2 ideas for tonight, but Peter wasn't feeling well. So like, let's just chat about life. So
yeah,
next Saturday, we'll have something more like concrete, I suppose.
So I actually do participate, right? I actually called a shot tonight, right? First time. So that's cool. I feel better about myself. I'm not going to ring the bell. It's not bell worthy, but I feel proud because I was being honest with you, right? And what good would it have done? Or wouldn't have served anybody, right? If I said, yeah, let's chat about, I think one of the things was self-love, right?
Yeah.
Definitely not in a self-love flow tonight to talk about that. And I guess my form of self-love was being honest with you and saying, hey, listen, I'm not there. Just not feeling it. Let's just rock out and see what happens. And that's what we did. And the important part is that we came on. And more importantly than that is like 32 souls at some point have come through this talk and maybe said hello in their own way, right? And that's really the conversation. That's really where the rubber hits the road for me, at least. To have this app, right? And that I've been at home, right? And I live alone. I've been at times when it wasn't just alone, but feeling a little bit lonely, maybe a little bit disconnected. And that notification came up for Noom Vibe. And I'm like, this is awesome. I hit it and I listen, right? And it really does something for me. It really helps, I think. And it's just a little bit of a break in life. And sometimes I learn a few things along the way. And I just feel like it's I have my friendship group always with me with this community and with Noom Vibe. So it's always a pleasure for me to see that notification button.
And you're able to work and listen to Noom Vibe, and you just dropped something.
Yeah, that was my bell. Oh hell, that was my bell.
Like okay, if I'm on Noom Vibe throughout the day, generally, unless I'm doing something like cleaning or whatever, or walking, if I'm recording or editing or writing or doing anything, I really can't listen to stuff. So if I'm on here too much, I'm not really getting life done. But Peter is able to. You work and you listen.
Yeah, I do. So
impressive.
I always, so what I do is I have it because it's just that multitasking ADHD brain that I have in, and the app is usually playing either actively I'm listening or passively, and and that's how it goes for me. I'm sorry, I just had a text message. My son is out in Tennessee. They're having some weather out there, and they're bad tornadoes with that system come across. So I just had a notification. I apologize. Yes, I do listen to the app, and it's just helps me, and that speaks to how much I love this community, how much I love Noom Vibe. I really do, dude. It's just like it's usually playing somewhere. Now there are times, right, when I have to like kind of step back because I can just get caught up in the flow of it, right? I get really hyper focused on Noom Vibe, and my productivity may drop during the day, but that's just a me thing. That's not a Noom Vibe thing. That's just me needing to shift my attention or my focus because I have a tendency, right, to overdo things at times, right? And that can be one of them. And I recognize that and I realize it. So I've scaled back a little bit with that, but like I've just been so busy that I've had no choice of late, the last 2 weeks especially. Was that too long of an answer? I feel like it was.
No, that's okay. But your time is running down soon, so I think we'll probably just end it here. And thank you guys so much for
a few more minutes.
You want to stay on for a few more minutes?
I think we should. I just feel like it's necessary.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to come back?
Very rarely have I said that.
Yeah, usually you're like, okay.
Yeah, because I just feel it. I feel in my spirit, my energetic.
Okay. And you're talking, so that's good.
Yeah. So what do you like?
You're quite chatty. Maybe I just mute myself. Oh, you don't like that word?
Dudes aren't chatty. In my book, I mean, it could be like that. Could be a very horrible generalization. I'm sure I'll get some. I'm not that important enough to get hate mail or any mail for that reason, but I'm sure there'd be some resistance.
I'll send you some hate mail if you want.
To that. I mean, I feel like you're chatty, and that's not a bad thing. But I just feel like
no, I never see. I actually wouldn't take it as a bad thing. That's fascinating, though, eh? The perceptions.
Do I have to learn how to speak like that?
What?
That the Canadian.
Yeah.
That's
no,
good,
not everyone says a. But
It's cool, eh?
I think those of us raised in it
Mm-hmm.
do.
Yeah.
There was a clip of what's his name?
Jim Morrison from The Doors.
Jim Carrey. And he was doing a comedic bit about Canadian. And I said, it would have been perfect if he had landed that with A at the very end, and he didn't. I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
But yes, pretty funny.
I heard you.
Anyways.
I heard you. So am I going on live tonight? I'm on live now. Am I going to do Saturday Night Vibe? I don't think so. But like it could happen like that. Like I can get my second wind and my second cup of turmeric tea and come on live.
Your turmeric tea is your superpower right now. Your superfood.
And
then you'll be like, I'm 100% better now.
Yeah. And sometimes I don't like the sound of silence when it comes to Noom Vibe. I always like something going on, right? Because it's always positive, right? It's like, why watch the news, right? When I can come on Noom Vibe and maybe fellowship, for lack of a better term, with the people in the Noom Vibe tribe, and maybe learn a few things along the way, right? And get some connection. It's not a replacement for real life in-person connection, but it is a form of connection. So don't let that replace it. We have physicians, very good physicians, one or two top of the field, in fact, and coaches and dietitians and life coaches, health coaches that are really excellent at what they do. And that's the only reason why they're here, right? Credentialed, but they're not a substitute for your own providers, your own medical providers, your own nutritionist, right? It's definitely not a substitute for therapy. So please don't. Like if you're going through some things, right, and you're really looking to this app for that, it's cool, right? It's cool. But I suggest that you really pursue your own provider. And if you need that extra help that you need, then do it. Don't let this replace it, because this is not it. This is not for that. But having said that, while you're here, we're going to wrap you in love, right? The base vibration here is love. And perhaps like you've been through some stuff, right? And maybe you're not crazy about yourself. Like, stick around. We will love you. Listen to me very carefully. We will love you until you learn to love yourself again. That I can tell you. So stick around. You are in the right place.
Yes. I got a message from Steven Tanner, and he said, Canadian goose imitation. Honk. You know what happened
That's
to me
awesome. Steve,
one
thanks
time?
for that, bro. Next time someone asks if I have a joke, that's going to be it. You're forewarned. That is great.
So Canadian geese, have you seen these things about how dangerous they are, like how aggressive they
I
are?
think they're just annoying at times, but go on. I love wildlife.
No, well, they're only aggressive in like April when they're nesting.
Okay.
Otherwise, they're fine generally. Like I go to the park, I go to this one cemetery, they're everywhere. And I walk by and I'm like, hello. And then they're just like, honk, honk, but they don't care. But in April, dude, it's usually April. Oh boy, because they're nesting and you better not get near the female sitting on her nest thingy. One time, this was a few years ago, I was just walking along the cemetery as I go there with my headphones, and this geese came out of nowhere, hit me in the back of my head, hit my headphones off, and was like honking at me. And I was like, what the hell? I wasn't heading, I think he was up at the hill, and he came down and hit me, and I was like, what? It was awful.
Yeah.
I was like, why are you so mean?
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh yeah, it's that time of the year. But my friend Jen, she's like, I take an umbrella and I chase them away with an umbrella because they get so aggressive. I said, okay, I'm not coming at this time of the year, but generally they're fine.
Have real attitude, some of them. I'm not like, dude, you're not being a good ambassador, but I'm still coming anyway. I'm coming to Canada. But it's just like okay, don't do it. Canadian geese are great. They're necessary to the wildlife ecosystem. See how I dressed that up?
Mm-hmm. But they're not just in Canada.
Yeah, I know that.
I didn't know this. My friend Arlene, she lives in Georgia, and in her backyard they had like a little pondy thing, and she was showing me Canadian geese, and I was like, "But those are Canadian geese. Why do you have them?"
They're immigrant geese, right? That's the say. That's
I
what they
guess,
say.
but
Yeah,
I don't
one of
know.
those.
They like to visit.
Yeah. I saw something on Facebook
Oh,
about that. They were talking about Canadian geese being immigrants. It was a parody, but yeah,
probably.
probably. Well, you know what? Thank you
Cool.
for hanging out and just like taking the extra 20 minutes or 10 minutes, Stephanie. I'll release you. I know you're. I mean,
I'm released from my contract.
You're very gracious for hanging out with me tonight. And don't you guys think so? Show some love for Stephanie. I think she's fantastic. And you guys are fantastic too, because you've stopped on and hung out with us. I think 37 folks have come through the room.
Yeah.
And if you're not here still, you're here in spirit, because you've crossed through the room and you've hit that button. And so
we appreciate you.
Absolutely
and
do. Yeah, we really, really
claps up for Peter.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's all right. Who's got his energy back?
Yeah, I do, really. I do. So we thank you for coming by. I know that was probably long, but it was worth it, because I believe in doing that when possible. So thank you all for stopping by. Echoes of Understanding.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. And if you want to check out, also, we have a YouTube channel, Echoes of Understanding, where we record. You can see our faces. And we basically do a whole other recording, but with the topics that we talk about here. So check us out. Have a good night. Sending love to you all. Bye.